Hello, I'm in Kobayashi. Today I'm going to do my Biannunal Bibliothon TBR. So I participated with this in the summer and I absolutely loved it, so I thought, why not do it again, right? So I've already read 11 books this year and I'm not really sure if I'm still going to be on a reading binge when January 20th shows up, but I'm hoping. I picked books that were not quite as big. If I was tired of reading, I would not be exhausted from it. There are 6 reading challenges and I am going to complete 5 of them. I cannot get a version of the group book, so I can't read it. So you can double up on challenges. Several of mine complete several of them. I'm going to read 5 books for 6 challenges. The first challenge is to read a sequel, and I'm going to read The Sign of 4 by Sherlock Holmes. I'm not quite done The Study in Charlotte, but I plan to be done by January 20th. So I'm going to be able to read the second one right away. Second one is a book you know very little about. Beowulf by anonymous people. So this is actually an anthology of British literature. The first one is Beowulf because it is a very famous mythical thing that was written 1,000 and some years ago. I don't know anything about it. I love classics, as you can probably tell. It's not very long. It also completes less than 200 pages challenge, as does Sign of 4. A book that was referenced elsewhere. I read a book that I absolutely loved. It was called The Mystery of Hollow Places by Rebecca Potus, and one book that was referenced throughout and was kind of used as imagery was Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier. Ever since I've been wanting to read it, I found it at a free donations place, and it's absolutely beautiful, and I was like, I need to read it. So I've only had it for about a week and I'm really excited to start reading it. So for a mental health book, I wanted to read a book that was about mental health. Sadly, I don't own any mental health books that I have not already read. I couldn't find a version of a library or anywhere online that I could read a mental health book for free. On my Kindle, I have a version of A Room of One's Own by Virginia Woolf. It's about women's rights, I believe, too, and about having some place of your own. It was written by Virginia Woolf, who had bipolar disorder and ended up committing suicide, so she definitely impacted by mental health. This one's kind of humorous. The challenge was to read a book published before 2017. It's funny because most of the books that I mentioned were not published in the last century, despite being published in the last year, but I figured I am not just a classic reader, I do love fantasy, and I received for Christmas this year a version of Stardust by Neil Gaiman. It's one that I've always wanted to read. My entry for being an older book, that is the newest book on here. I would love to hear what books you plan on reading. The challenge is from January 20th to January 27th. It is a week long. The point is to read as many books as you can. And there's challenges and all kinds of fun things going on. I hope that you join me in reading books and let me know what books you plan on reading. Happy reading!
Hey, Mr. No Name Kid, so